Thank you everyone for joining us today. This month we have been talking about SMART goal setting as well as how to action plan around that. And today we're gonna dive in a little bit to overcoming obstacles. But before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of an icebreaker just so I don't have to talk at the screen the whole time. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, what do we want to do? What breakfast cereal, if you could pick any breakfast cereal with no health consequences to eat every day for the rest of your life, what would you pick? Anyone? Oh no.
I'll go.
Thank you.
I would pick, it's kind of boring, cinnamon Chex.
Ooh.
Sweet, but not too sweet.
That's a good idea.
I'll go. This is Jenny. I was kind of close to that, but cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah, tasty.
This is Kim. I would eat, I'm a chocolate fiend, so, but I like the Special K chocolate delight.
Ooh, I've never had that one. That sounds really good. I think I would go with honey bunches of oats. That was like the fun cereal we got when we were growing up. So thank you all. I think we're gonna start each of these with a small get to know you type of question like that every week. I do apologize. My kitten wants a little bit of extra attention. So let's focus on overcoming obstacles. We all know that goals are really great and we start really motivated. But at some point, we get a little discouraged and we run into obstacles. So what can we do to break through those? So just a quick review of the last two sessions. We set SMART goals, things that are realistic, time-bound, specific, measurable, and attainable. An example of a SMART goal might be, I want to run a 5K by May. So I'm going to start with running 1 mile a day, then up it to 30 minutes as I'm going through that process. An example of a goal that is not SMART is I want to run a marathon by the end of January. I'm not a runner. I don't have that on my calendar. So running a marathon by the end of the month probably isn't going to work. And that comes down to making that action plan as well. So once we have that goal identified, really looking at how do we make sure we can get to that goal and finding all of the steps and pieces to get there. That's defining what success looks like. That's saying, okay, something's not working. I'm going to pivot on how I'm addressing this. I'm going to look into these resources. I'm going to read a blog about how to run. I'm going to look up the best podcasts to listen to when I am running. I'm going to do my research on the best shoes. I'm going to talk to other people in the running community, things like that. So from there, we've all had goals and we all faced obstacles. So how do we really overcome those? So I think the first way we do this is defining what success looks like for you. And success is some days looks different than other days. So success for me today for wanting to run a 5K this spring because it's snowy outside may not look like going out for a run. It may look like doing a 30-minute HIIT workout in my living room or going to the gym to weight lift. And tomorrow, if the snow's melted, success could look like going for a 2 to 3 mile run. You get to decide what success looks like for you. And as we're doing this, feel free to think of your goal, write it down, and walk through these steps with us. I want to make sure that you all feel like you have something to walk away with. The second thing when we're thinking about overcoming barriers is trying to identify those barriers. So like the snow, if I wanted to run this 5K and it's snowy outside, that might be a barrier. It is a barrier. I don't want to run on the ice. So thinking of where can I get a gym membership? Do I feel safe going into a gym given the current circumstances? You know, maybe my shoe breaks and I need to buy a new shoe, or, you know, very real life example. Yesterday, I had a little bit of a family emergency, and that's an obstacle. So what could come into play and how can I get through it? Maybe you get sick, maybe, you know, your kids have a last minute project they need to get done. So what obstacles might come up for you? And then when we think of those obstacles, we think through how can we make those our goal into manageable pieces, so when we do hit an obstacle, we're equipped to say, this is how I'm going to overcome it. So if I am thinking I want to run a 5K by the end of the spring, my goal might be to put in, this week, we're far enough out, this week is to run a total of 5 miles, but walk a total of 10 on top of that. So those are manageable pieces. Each week I can address those. And then I can address, you know, this week I know it's going to snow, so I can pivot my plan to go to the gym, to eat better, to maybe take a rest days, because our body needs that rest just as much as it needs the activity. It's like building a cake. You don't just go into it with this beautiful cake. You have to get your ingredients. You have to bake the cake. You have to have the right oven with the right temperature. You have to have the right pan, and then the right flavors and icing. So if we think of it, I like metaphors. So thinking of it like making a cake, we have to do little things at a time. And lastly, when we're coming over, not lastly, but the last one on this slide, when we're thinking about overcoming barriers, we want to identify those people who we can lean on for support when things get tough, and find those people who we can go to for cheering on. They may be the same person, they might not be. But this really comes down to that accountability. So going to a friend, family member, you know, personal trainer, one of us as your health coaches, whatever it could be, and say, hey, this week was really tough because of the snow, but I was still able to get 30 minutes of activity in, and I just need somebody to be successful, to cheer me on. Finding that person to keep you motivated, as well as finding the person to go to and say, hey, it snowed this week and that sucks, and it's really stressful at work and I'm just not reaching my goal. Having that person pick you up, and hopefully help you pivot your plan so you can still feel success. I don't know if any of you have seen this video, but I'm a huge believer in daily affirmation and planning our daily intentions. So if you all are okay with it, we're going to watch this 49-second video. Oops. I don't know how to, there we go. And this is just on YouTube.
The little things in life are easy.
And this is, of course, Wiley Prep. Has anybody seen this video before?
Now my whole house is great. I can do anything good. I like my school. I like anything. I like my dad. I like my cousins. I like my aunts. I like my Allisons. I like my mom. I like my sisters. I like my dad. I like my hair. I like my haircuts. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah. I can do anything good. Better than anyone. Better than anyone.
Have any of you seen that video? I think it's just so cute. And don't we all wish that we had that kind of energy in the morning? But I think being successful starts with that positive attitude and telling ourselves that we can do hard things. We have survived 100% of the tough days that we faced already. And your daily affirmation could be as silly as this little girl that she loves her house and she loves her mom. But it also can be that I am strong, I can do hard things, I can overcome. Whatever those phrases are for you, really setting those daily affirmations and reminding yourself that hard things are hard, but you can still do them. As well as those daily intentions. I know for me, if I don't sit down in the morning with my cup of coffee and say, this is what I want to get done, this is the attitude I'm going to try to get or try to have, things to tend not to go to plan. So really taking 5 minutes to sit down and say, I am going to get these things done. My goal for the day is this, and this is how I'm going to be successful. And practicing that mindfulness in the moment. Again, anything that is worth having, doesn't matter what it is, if it's weight loss, a new workout plan, going back to school to get a new degree or another degree, you know, reading books rather than Netflix after the long day. All things worth having are hard. And sometimes we don't feel motivated, but that's when we talk about discipline. So motivation is this idea that everything is great all the time. And that unfortunately isn't real life. But having the discipline to say today was tough, but I'm still going to dedicate time to reaching my goals, no matter what that looks like. Even if it is a pivot from your original plan. I think too, especially on those days where we're not feeling terribly motivated, the weather's icky, I can't stick to my original meal plan because it's somebody's birthday, or I didn't have time to cook dinner. Life happens. It's having those small things that you can say, I had a win on those days that feel really kind of crummy. So today my win for running that 5K, can't run outside because it's all snowy and icy. My win for today might say, I need a rest day and I'm going to take an Epsom salt bath to help relax my muscles. Or my small win to keep me motivated is finding a really good playlist to work out to at the gym later. It all depends on you and how you're motivated. Maybe at some point you're like, if I get my 20 workouts in a month, I'm gonna, buy myself a new workout tank top. Or, if I read every night instead of Netflix, I'm gonna buy myself a new movie or a new book or something like that. So thinking about what motivates you and how to keep small steps along the way to keep you motivated. So at this point, do any of you have any questions, feedback, anything that you would like to share? And it's totally okay if you don't.
This is Jenny. I think that is where I struggle. I can make a plan and I try to map out my day just at nighttime, like, okay, what do I need to achieve tomorrow? And then, something happens, but that is probably where I struggle because I usually work out first thing in the morning. So if I don't do it then, I find it just probably does not happen the rest of the day.
I think that's probably pretty common because everything tends to go wrong, right? Your kids forgot or missed the bus, or somebody needs to be fed dinner, whatever it could be. So I think having, at least for you, I would recommend, allow yourself the grace that if you don't get to the gym in the morning, that's okay. And tomorrow I'm going to try this differently. I'm going to set my alarm 5 minutes earlier. I'm going to make sure my workout clothes are on the dresser, ready to go. My coffee is going to be automatically set to start brewing. Those types of things. Does that make sense, Jenny?
It does. Yeah. It does. And I think like it happened this week. And so one of the things I ended up doing was just doing a lighter workout at nighttime. It was like a 30-minute. I'm like, you know what? I can at least do that. I'm not full blown sweat that I feel like I now have to shower, and at least I had some movement.
Yeah.
And then, then actually this morning when I got up, I tried to, just do something a little extra. So it feels like I almost made up that time that I missed.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a great way to put that. And I'm hoping that you didn't beat yourself up yesterday because you didn't get the full workout in, and you pivoted and you made a new plan. So good job. You did it.
Thank you.
Of course. Anyone else have anything they want to share? It's totally okay if you don't. And this is when we're talking about goals, it doesn't have to be just health related. We all have goals that are outside of that. For me, my personal goal is I'm in grad school, so my goal is to earn my MBA, next March rather than dragging it out. So that's just an example of a goal that doesn't have to be health based. We are more than just our physical body. So yes, we need to take care of it, and there are other ways to set goals. Awesome. So if any of you have any questions, comments, concerns, you need to just think out loud with someone, please feel free to connect with us. Like I said, this webinar, this is being recorded. It's going on to our website. So if you thought this was really helpful, or if you missed the next one, all of these will be archived on our website. If you have any questions specifically for us, feel free to email us, call us, or chat. If you log into your app or on the web platform, all of those options are available. We have a health coach online 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, Mountain Standard Time. Jenny, I don't know where you're located. And then feel free to connect with us on social media. Our 2 pages are at the bottom there. Facebook.com/Incenta Health and /Incenta Health, Healthy at Home. There's daily content that comes out there on how to be successful in your health journey. Any other last minute thoughts before you get back to your snowy Wednesday?